Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, November 14th through Sunday, November 20th, 2016. For this weekly reading, we're going to be using Doreen Virtue's Angel Tarot deck for the main message, and your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to come from the Ascended Masters deck, also by Doreen Virtue. So before I start by showing you your stones of choice, I just want to say thank you to all of you who subscribe to this channel and watch my videos. Thank you for liking them and sharing them, commenting on them. And also for those of you that are on my Facebook, I want to thank all of you for the wonderful support and comments and love that you share with me on those two pages as well. You can find me on Facebook under Colleen Lemma, or Sacred Soul Empowerment is my business page. And also, of course, this YouTube channel is under Colleen Lemma. So let's take a look at your stones of choice for this week's special message card. Your first stone of choice is lapis. And I'm going to talk about these stones in relation to the chakra that they're associated with, as far as the intuitive guidance that I'm being given for each of the stones. So the lapis is this beautiful dark blue colored stone with gold flecks in it. And this is going to relate to perhaps the throat chakra, but even more so to the third eye chakra and even the ear chakras. And all of these chakras tend to deal with speaking your truth and intuiting messages and getting clear guidance, both from your higher soul self as well as from your angels and guides. The gold flecks, the gold can be likened to even the crown chakra, which is opening up to higher wisdom and guidance. So if you're looking for messages this week, this might be your stone of choice. Your second stone of choice is ruby zoisite. Now the zoisite is the green color of this stone, and the ruby, of course, is the flecks of the darker red or the ruby that you see. Both of these colors, the green relates to the heart chakra, and although the red usually relates to the root chakra, it's kind of like a mauve color or a pink colored red as far as the ruby is concerned. So I'm going to liken that ruby color to the heart chakra as well. So opening your heart up to unconditional love, to be able to give unconditional love to other people, being able mostly to give that unconditional love to yourself. So this is about self-nurturing and self-healing of old emotions and old emotional wounds. And again, bringing that healing into different relationships as well in your life. Your third stone of choice is amber. And amber is this beautiful golden colored stone. Now sometimes you can get amber that's a light yellow, sometimes you can even get amber that's a green kind of color, but this particular piece is a very nice deep dark golden colored amber. So this is relating to your solar plexus chakra, your center of personal power, where you own your power, stand in your power, where you even have this sense of independence, self-sufficiency, leadership ability, your sense of self-identity. All of this is wrapped up in this golden yellow color of the amber. So again, your stones of choice are the lapis lazuli, the ruby zoisite, or the amber. So let's talk a little bit about the astrology for this week before we look at the message from the angels from the tarot cards. When we start out on Monday the 14th, we actually start out the week with a full moon at 22 degrees of Taurus. Now, if you watched last week's weekly angel card reading, I think I ended that video by letting you know that this full moon was going to be coming up. And the Taurus energy is all about a sense of security, a sense of being grounded, a sense of things manifesting on the material plane, like finances or things with the home or things that you might be working on, projects. That's kind of a Taurian sort of energy. Now, when it comes to aspects for this particular full moon, there's not really a lot of major things going on with it. Although we have a lot of major things going on, there's nothing that's aspecting or connecting to this full moon at 22 degrees Taurus. Now, we do have a lot of minor aspects happening. We have, for this particular full moon lunation, Mercury, for instance, is in a semi-sextile to Venus, and Venus is in a semi-sextile to Mars. Chiron is in a semi-sextile to Uranus. Saturn is in a semi-sextile right now to Pluto. So all of these semi-sextiles, which we don't usually talk about, it's a 30-degree aspect, which again, it's very Taurian in nature, this particular aspect. But what we have is a lot of planets in different signs, and none of those signs are of the same element or of the same quality when we're dealing with a semi-sextile. So there can be a bit of a frustration with the semi-sextile. There can be a bit of tension with the semi-sextile. Now, the one thing that's going on for this full moon is that Jupiter in Libra is actually sextiling Saturn. So an actual sextile is a 60-degree aspect, which is double that of the semi-sextile. The Jupiter sextiling Saturn gives us an opportunity. The sextile is an aspect of opportunity. So when I think about that, and I think about this full moon at 22 degrees Taurus that we're beginning the week out with, I feel like we have this opportunity here to expand our perceptions, to look at things in a different way, and to adjust our belief systems. Because Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and Jupiter also does deal with our belief systems. Saturn right now is in the sign of Sagittarius, and the sign of Sagittarius is about our belief systems. And remember, Saturn is about lessons. Saturn is that karmic teacher, the teacher of lessons here. And Jupiter is actually the bringer of blessings. And when we have a sextile, there's an opportunity to utilize that energy in such a way to make something positive happen. But with that sextile energy, that positive opportunity, we must find it. We must find what that opportunity is and take action upon it to make something good happen. So this is where I'm saying that expanding your sense of your belief systems, looking at things in a different way or a different perspective or a more positive way, may actually assist you in manifesting blessings that you wouldn't have necessarily been able to manifest, or you wouldn't even have necessarily seen that potential or that opportunity had you not looked for it. All these other planets that are semi-sextiling one another, well, this is that frustration energy that we're just feeling. And, it's around the full moon. It's right after the election that we had here in the United States. So I think a lot of us are feeling that little bit of weird kind of tension that's not really gelling or making any sense. Now, speaking of not making any sense, as we move all the way to Friday the 18th of November, we have Mercury, the planet of communication, our thoughts, ideas, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius. So here we have the Sagittarius energy again about our belief systems. And it is in a challenging aspect to Neptune in Pisces. And the thing about this is that Neptune is actually slowing down all this week. It's actually been slowing down for the last 2 or 3 weeks because it's such a slow-moving planet. But especially this week, it's slowing down and stopping and getting ready to turn to direct motion, which it does very late Eastern time on Saturday the 19th. So here we have Friday. We have Mercury in Sagittarius challenging Neptune, and the very next day on Saturday, Neptune turns direct. So that Neptune slowing down to turn direct is heightening or intensifying the energies of Neptune and Pisces, which is going to make this Mercury in Sagittarius in a challenging square aspect to Neptune even much more felt, or to a greater degree we're going to feel that even more so. So what is Mercury squaring Neptune? Well, it can be confused communication, miscommunication. It can be feeling ungrounded mentally. It might be dealing with confusion in your own mind about, what way to go or what decision to make. Again, Mercury is all about the mental realm. So with it squaring Neptune, we're going to be not really grounded when it comes to that mental energy. It's, our mind is going to be off in various directions at the same time. Or again, we might be having some challenging communication with other people. People don't understand what we're trying to say. They don't, we don't understand what they're trying to say. And because Mercury is in Sagittarius, I feel like this may even expand certain judgments that people might be having towards other people or other groups of people, and also the way we communicate. So we really have to watch for miscommunication. We have to watch with judgment energies and not allowing ourselves to really speak out of turn. Now, what Mercury and Neptune is good for, because I always feel like there's a good aspect, there's always that silver lining, even in the toughest or most challenging of planetary aspects that we deal with. But Mercury with Neptune is very imaginative. It's very creative. So this is going to be a wonderful time for creative writing, for instance, or using imagination and visualization techniques in your meditation time. Meditation in and of itself, a very good time for any kind of spiritual activity or meditation. All of these things are going to be highlighted in a positive way. And again, with Neptune turning to direct motion on Saturday, the Neptunian energy by itself rules other dimensions, other spiritual dimensions of time and space. It rules the collective energy. So we may be really tuning in and being empathic and whatnot with the thoughts on the collective level of the planet with this as well. And, Neptune can kind of help us to cross the boundaries between like third dimensional reality into, again, this higher spiritual, more unconditionally loving, compassionate spiritual reality, because that's what Neptune is all about. So let's focus on the most positive. Let's focus on that unconditional love energy, that compassion energy. And also I want to plug in, by the way, that next week on the 25th of November is going to be our monthly One Seed meditation event. So be sure to tune in next week for more information on that, or if you've been a part of the past One Seed meditation events, you can go to the Facebook page, One Seed Meditation Event, and sign up for that and make sure that you're going to be a part of that with us. Okay, so that's really all that's going on astrologically this week. Let's go ahead and get right to the cards. And turning over the first card, I'm not really surprised to see Major Arcana number 12. It's called Awakening with Archangel Gabriel. And it says, look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill, and it's important to be yourself. Let's take a look at what it says down there at the bottom of the card. And, here again we have Archangel Gabriel. She's got a trumpet in her hand. Usually when we see Archangel Gabriel has a trumpet, blowing this trumpet, kind of calling the soul to attention, calling the soul to look at what's going on around you, what's going on in your environment, what's going on within you. What about the evolution and growth of your soul? What's happening internally? And this is all about, again, looking at things from a different perspective, which is what we were talking about earlier. In this picture, or in this card, we have the imagery of Archangel Gabriel upside down and to the side, looking at the circumstances in life from a different vantage point. It's like what we see isn't always true reality. Sometimes what we think is reality is just an illusion, and sometimes what we think is an illusion is really the true reality. So it's important to awaken your mind and expand your consciousness this week, and again, allow yourself to think about things or look at things in a different way. Let's go ahead and turn over the second card and get more information. Okay, we have, the Five of Water. So this to me is a lot of emotional energy. The Five of Water says things not turning out the way that we had hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, and crying over spilt milk. So there's a lot of people right now that are overly emotional and being really sensitive to the emotional energies. Again, on a collective level as well. I feel like we're really, because we have been evolving for quite some time. We're getting more spiritually and energetically sensitive, all of us. And sometimes we're picking up on what other people feel or think. Sometimes we're picking up on circumstances or situations going on in the collective or in different parts of the world. And I feel like this is a part of that. I feel like, there's events happening right now that a lot of us are tuning into, and the sadness that some of us are feeling, or the despair or the frustration energies that some of us are feeling. Some of it might be your own personal stuff that you're dealing with, but some of it might be what's happening in the world too, on a larger scale or a bigger level. And I feel like that Neptune, with Neptune stopping and being at a stationary point here before turning direct on Saturday, again, it's really heightening that Neptunian energy, which can be wonderfully spiritual, but can be also very energetically sensitive to some of, again, the illusion and the confusion of what's going on around us. And I feel like, this is actually saying, it says not seeing the positive in a situation. Again, this goes back to the awakening card in Archangel Gabriel, to where if we look at things from a different perspective, everything happens for a reason. That's the phrase that I'm hearing right now. Everything happens for a reason. And sometimes even when things happen and it doesn't make any sense to us and we're really confused, there's a higher meaning behind it. And sometimes that higher meaning or understanding is not going to be clear to us. It's not going to have any clarity for a little while, perhaps, whether it be days down the road or months down the road even. Eventually, we're going to come to an understanding of why certain things take place and why certain things happen. So I feel like this is saying to, again, redirect your energies into one of projecting love and light, projecting the most positive of emotions and feelings, rather than allowing yourself to get imbalanced in the emotional body. Let's take a look at the last card. Maybe there's going to be more information that will help us to understand how to become more balanced or how to take the next step. Let's see what that is. All right, turning over the last card. Okay, we have a fire card. This is the King of Fire. And at the top it says motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic. At the bottom it says focus, focus, focus. It says communicate with vision and be a leader, and advice from someone creative. Okay. So a lot of times when we have the court cards, the page, the knight, the queen, and the king, we're dealing with either other people in our environment. In this case, we would be dealing with an authority figure, but of a positive, creative, and inspiring spiritual nature. But I even more feel that these are energies or qualities within us, within ourselves, that we need to embody or to accept or integrate within ourselves. I feel like this is a message saying we need to become the King of Fire. We need to become much more positive and motivational and creative and strong and having a good sense of ourselves and our self-identity and what the next step is and where we're going to be going next or what we have to be doing next. Again, this is about focus and being a leader, being a visionary, This is about seeing circumstances the way that you would like them to be, the way that you would like to live them, and allow this different perspective over here of the awakening card with Archangel Gabriel. Allow that to, again, change your perspective. It's like tweaking your own mind. It's like not allowing the ego mind to come in with all these fears and doubts and anxieties, and tweaking the mind and instead saying, okay, well, this is what reality seems to be. How can I either make the best of this, or how can I make a better decision to change what I don't really care for? Or how can I move towards my path and my truth and my passion? These are all questions that we need to ask ourselves as this King of Fire energy, so that we can colorfully and creatively and more joyously and happily move towards our truth. But I also feel like not just moving towards our truth for ourselves, but I feel like in some way we're leading the way. We're leading the way to show other people, or to allow other people to learn by our example of, what the best energy being emulated from us can really do. And I don't know how else to say that, but it's like, being our best spiritual selves kind of inspires other people to want to become their best spiritual selves. I guess that's the best way I can express that. All right, so let's take a look at what your special message card is depending on your stone of choice. So for those of you that chose the lapis lazuli, let's give our ascended masters a little bit of a shuffle and invite them to come in along with the archangels. And lapis lazuli, this one is calling my attention. And this is mother, wife, sister, daughter with Lady Nada. So right away I think of the divine feminine energies here. I feel like your special message is about awakening to the divine feminine energies within you, which is that unconditional love and compassion and peace and assistance for others and nurturing towards others, selfless service to others. That's all the divine feminine energy. And I feel like really embodying that energy is what is going to be helpful for you this week. I feel like they are even using the terms of beauty, like focusing on aspects in your life that bring beauty into your life or that are beautiful. See the beauty in everything. See the beauty in your environment. See the beauty in the people, your friends and family that surround you. See the beauty within yourself, because as you recognize that beauty, you recognize that perfection that you already are, that's going to emulate out with that divine feminine energy of just having this wonderful love and compassion for yourself and for others in your life, others that you know, but also others just as a humanity again, as a collective energy. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Opening up the heart chakra, again, that kind of goes with that message, but focus on meditating this week on opening the heart chakra and just feeling that unconditional love of the universe surround you and envelop you in its beauty. All right, let's take a look at the special message for those that chose the ruby zoisite. Okay, and this one is actually peeking up and makes me want to choose it. So ruby zoisite, ooh, energy healing with Merlin. Love this. So there's a lot of beautiful colors in this particular card. It makes me think right away of the chakras and making sure that in your meditations this week, you're balancing all of your chakras, not just focusing on the upper chakras, of our psychic perceptions that we normally want to focus on and expand, but also focusing on the lower chakras, the root chakra of grounding yourself, the sacral chakra of creative expression and passion, the solar plexus chakra of, again, owning your power and being your own authority. So as you balance all of your chakras, you're going to be balancing the energies within yourself to bring about a healing that needs to take place physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Also, a message to perhaps look for someone that maybe can do some energy healing. Now, this could be like Reiki or esoteric healing or massage or reflexology, but it can also be healing where there's no physical touch per se. This could be essential oils healing. This could be flower essences healing. Again, this could be you focusing on balancing your own chakras and bringing healing to yourself that way. But I feel like you need to focus on healing this week. And also those of you that are healers, you might have an upsurge in your business. With the healing, they're reminding me that Chiron is also slowing down to turn to direct motion. That will happen as of December 1st, but we're feeling the effects all of November of Chiron, the wounded healer, as it slows down and brings up all of this past life, all of the past life wounds and karmic patterns and things that we've experienced in several lifetimes. So I feel like a lot of you, again, that do healing work, you might be getting more work come this week or the next couple weeks. All right, for those of you that chose the amber, and right away this one just is screaming to be picked. Okay, this amber is Serapis Bey, is the Ascended Master, and it says go now. And whenever I get this card, either for myself or for a client, I always say, okay, go now. Where do you want me to go? Like where, here we got Serapis Bey holding up his hand, almost there's a finger pointing as if to say, go over here. And I'm always right away saying, where's here? Like, where do you want me to go now? And so I feel like this is saying it's time to step into your truth. It's time to, two things come to mind. One thing they're saying is that it's time to step into your truth, be your own spiritual authority and hold your own power, be the true power that you are. That's where you need to go. But they're also saying, almost conversely, that some of you are needing to leave a situation that is no longer in your highest and best interest, that's no longer healthy for you in some way. And so when Serapis Bey is saying go now, he's saying go now to the next step, take the next step. Go now and move away from this situation that's holding you back or tying you down or disempowering you in some way. So this, again, is a strong message to, they're saying transmute those energies, transmute or rise above those energies or the situation or circumstance that may be holding you back. And here I'm drawn to the yellow here to empower yourself and that solar plexus chakra of our center of personal power. Go now and step into your personal power again is what I want to say for you for this week. All right, I hope you've liked this weekly angel card reading. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Make sure that you watch the monthly angel card reading for November and also the last soul reflections video or two that I've done on my channel as well. Until next week, I send you all much love and light and many, many angel blessings.